Hi, welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and this is another segment of Share the News, where I read news articles and try to extract spiritual significance from them, meaning this is based on the idea of the mirror principle, which is basically the outer world is a reflection of your inner world, of you. So it is possible to find meaning in everything. That is what I believe. And if you could possibly believe that, or you do believe that too, then come with me on this journey. You may find some useful insight in this message today. So the article that stood out to me was this is on perplexity.ai. It's AI summaries of many different sources that are citing the same information, and it just kind of condenses it into like 3 sections, usually 3 sections, which is very nice for these kinds of videos. So NASA says 2025 tied for second hottest year on record. Yeah, so the heat is rising. People are sweating. Something is getting intense. Excuse me, confirmation burps. Something's getting intense, and it's causing people to sweat. So let's get. I did have. I had the devil out on the pre-shuffle, but I don't know why. I just picked up the cards and started shuffling. I guess I wasn't meant to talk too much about that. But definitely some illusions and secrets, because now we have High Priestess. Are going on in the environment. This message has been coming out a lot lately. So whenever this finds you, this may be actively ongoing around you. It doesn't have to be directly tied to you, but perhaps going on in the people around you, communities around you, in your family, in your friend group, whatever. However it fits for you. But yeah, something's going to be released. High Priestess, the Fool. The Fool is like setting something free. It's a new adventure, right? It's either, yeah, and it's the truth. Ace of Swords. The truth is going to be released, right? And then people are going to be free once it's out. And it has something to do with this King of Pentacles. This came out in my last reading I did today for the Mercury reading. It is Wednesday. But yeah, but you are confident and energetically, you've got your boundaries up. You know how to keep your distance from whatever this is. You're learning new things. You are stepping into stability, right? Prosperity. Yeah. You are disconnected from this situation as much as you can be, right? 5 of Cups. Absence. Yeah. You might be looking back at this and be like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not involved in this too much. You probably are involved in it a little bit. Like, it's going to affect you in some way, but yeah, judgment is being called on somebody. So normally I don't start these videos out just diving straight into the tarot as much like that, but I just wanted to get the feel for the message that would go along with this, and that is the realm we are dealing with. There's something heating up in the background, and it's making people nervous, and it seems like it's about to be exposed. So, but yeah, you're aware of this. You've gone deep within yourself enough to connect with and know how to recognize the signs in your environment and how they relate to your inner experience. You know how to pick up on the signals, to go deep within, to follow the light inside the cave. Whoops, this one. Down into the depths, right? And look, I just noticed there's a connection between these. That light is also on this butterfly at the center. The same light that's at the top here is at the center of this butterfly. Yeah, so you have flown in your authentic self, right? You have flown deep into the cave. You followed the scary beckoning of this mysterious figure. There's actually some eyes. I don't know if you can see it. They're pretty dark. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's like you know that this thing that looks scary from the surface that's calling you in is you. It's yourself. It's what's in the shadow, and you're going in authentically and unafraid, fully expressive and aware, right? This eye is fully open with your light, and you're going to see what is it, what's in there, and what does this mean about me? How does this relate to me? What aspect of myself is reflected in this situation, in this thing? Yeah, the call, the siren, right? And when you get in there, you just might find nothing but possibility, right? The empty room. You might find nothing at all, right? the bottomless pit of existence, maybe. But you might also, with a different perspective, find nothing but potential for things to be created, for experiences to be had. To learn more about you, yourself, which is the universe. We are all each a reflection of everything, inside and out. All right, let's read this. NASA released data Wednesday. Hey, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday as I'm reading this. So, yeah, published 29 minutes ago. So they just released this today. Cool. Showing that 2025 effectively tied with 2023 as the second warmest year on record, with global surface temperatures reaching 2.14 degrees Fahrenheit, 1.19 degrees Celsius above the 1951-1980 average. The hottest year remains 2024, continuing an extraordinary streak in which the past 11 years have been the 11 warmest ever recorded. Yeah, 11. And it's making me think of this High Priestess again. Because look, the 2 is written in Roman numerals, which looks like an 11. Inner knowledge. So you are aware that things are heating up and that they have been heating up for some time now, consistently. Like this energy has been present and it's just been ongoing. It's like, when is this going to come out, right? That's the feeling that has been very prevalent this week. So I feel like we are just like right there, whatever it is for you in your situation. The announcement marked a sharp departure from previous years. NASA's statement made no reference to climate change or human activities contributing to rising temperatures. Last year's communications under the Biden administration explicitly stated that global warming has been caused by human activities and had led to intensifying heat waves, wildfires, intense rainfall, and coastal flooding. This year's release amounts to a handful of paragraphs with a few key statistics. So somebody's changing their tune about the narrative about something, right? And I'm sure this has a lot to do with the current administration in the US because we're talking about NASA here. But whether you believe in climate change is the cause of this or it's just a natural cycle, either way, you can't deny that something is happening and that the world is heating up. It doesn't really matter what the cause is at this point. It just matters that we recognize it and we are aware of it and we're trying to adapt, right? To survive. So yeah, somebody's trying to cool down from all this heat. This could be you in this situation. You're just like, let me just pour this bottle of water on my head and calm down. I don't want to get wrapped up in this. All right, differing global assessments. 6 of 8 international temperature data sets analyzed by the World Meteorological Organization ranked 2025 as the third warmest year, while 2, including NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, place it second. The WMO said the temperatures of 2023 and 2025 were so close, just 0.04 degrees Fahrenheit apart, that they effectively represented a statistical tie. Global average surface temperature in 2025 was 1.44, shout out, degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels 1850 to 1900, according to the WMO's consolidated analysis. The European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service and Berkeley Earth confirmed that the 3-year average for 2023 to 2025 reached 1.48 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, approaching the 1.5 degree threshold scientists consider critical for avoiding severe, irreversible impact. So there is whatever is going on behind the scenes, right, that is being hidden, that has been kept quiet, right, it's reaching a critical threshold to where if something is not said or spoken up about, then once it reaches this threshold, it's like, it's bad. It's really bad. And somebody might be considering coming forward and kind of revealing some information here in order to prevent things from getting too disastrous. Right? Maybe they've held their tongue for as long as they can, High Priestess, keeping it in as long as they can. But now it's getting to a point where it's like, okay, we're approaching dangerous levels of instability here in whatever this is, right? So something has to be done. Something has to be done. No matter what the narrative is around what is actually going on, there's evidence that things are getting hotter and hotter and hotter, which in this particular message I'm translating as things are getting worse and worse and worse. that something needs to be done to prevent catastrophic damage. Two of Pentacles, yeah, balance. So this came out in my last reading too. It seems to be something to do with finances specifically. Now that we have the connection to the previous reading, I actually had the word income pop up in that reading for the 8th house, which is the house of shared resources and secrets, right? So yeah, somebody is juggling a financial burden of some kind, and it's on the down low. Not a lot of people seem to know about it. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Once again, confirming this has to do with finances. But there's an opportunity here as well as a result of this. Maybe once information comes to light, it's like, well, okay, things are getting bad, but they're not, super awful right now. So what are the opportunities around us? New ventures. What's a way we can pivot into a different direction in order to restore balance to the situation, right? So that it's not just a burden on maybe one or a small group of people, but it's like, well, now that this is out in the open, we can all address it together and come up with a different plan, change the situation. Like it sucks that we've gotten to this point, but what can we do to prevent things from getting any worse, from crossing this like irreversible threshold, right? All right. We also have the Two of Swords. Yeah, decisions are going to have to be made. People are really going to have to pause and not get too caught up in their head, right? Kind of put the swords down and go within and reconnect with their center to kind of reach this balanced state in order to move forward. Because right now things are stuck. It's like this is coming to an impasse. We have Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords. This is like really being kind of like caught in between two potential outcomes, and you're looking for the way out, right? The Ace of Pentacles, the way to get out of this situation, but maybe the only way to get out of it is by opening up. Is by telling, revealing the truth about what's been going on here. I'm gonna get just one more, and then I'll read the next section. What a crazy time we live in, right? World's getting hotter, global chaos, spiraling out of control, it seems like. And yet, people seem to be waking up and reconnecting to their inner authority and their sense of self, right? And their connection to the divine. Yeah. Yeah. Ace of Wands, inspiration, and Four of Wands, celebration. Yeah. People are, it's like, despite what's going on in the world, not only is the world getting hotter, but like people are rediscovering the fire within themselves, right? Yeah, they're reconnecting. They're establishing a connection again, a commitment to not only themselves, but by deepening a connection to themselves, they're also realizing how they are able to commit to others and to the things they truly care about in their. Okay, let's go on. Climate messaging under scrutiny. University of Pennsylvania climatologist Michael Mann criticized NASA's stripped-down communication, telling AFP the U.S. government is now, like Russia and Saudi Arabia, a petrostate under Trump and Republican rule, and the actions of all of its agencies can be understood in terms of the agenda of the polluters that are running the show. He added that NASA administrators were attempting to bury findings of its own agency that conflict with its climate denial agenda. Yeah, so lots of conflict going on behind the scenes, things being hidden, like I was saying, to do with, oil is all about money, right? It's all about power. The announcement comes as the Trump administration takes steps to limit public access to climate data. The administration has proposed cutting NOAA's budget by 27% and move to end NASA missions that monitor atmospheric carbon dioxide. The United States is also set to formally exit the Paris Agreement on January 20th, and President Trump announced last week that the country would withdraw from the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. So, yeah, this is getting a little political here. I'm not going to go too far into that. No matter what you believe, if you believe climate change is real or a hoax or whatever, you can't deny that objectively according to our observations, the world is getting hotter. Whether you believe that's a result of climate change or of natural cycles that come and go, despite what humans do, or whatever. Maybe you have another take on this entirely. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we can recognize that something is happening, right? That the world is getting hotter, and that it is causing more and more natural weather phenomena to happen, like wildfires and hurricanes and earthquakes, things like that. So something's going on is all I'm trying to say. It doesn't really matter what the narrative is around it. We can all agree that something is happening, right? Something big is happening. Looking ahead, despite the cooling La Nina weather pattern that bookended 2025, temperatures remained among the highest ever recorded, driven by accumulated greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, according to WMO Secretary General Celeste Saulo. That's a really cool name. Several climate monitoring organizations predict 2026 will be similarly warm, with growing likelihood that El Nino conditions could develop by mid-year, potentially making 2027 another record-challenging year. Interesting. All right. So, the end of this article was essentially a bit political, a bit about narrative, and a bit about, well, if things are this bad now, if it continues on this trend, then the next year might be even worse, right? So what I want to know is, where is this going? What is this, whatever's going on in the background, what is the most likely outcome at this point in time? Are we headed, off a cliff, or can we slam on the brakes and change course? What's going on here? That's what I want to know. What is the energy surrounding the current state of the situation ongoing? Please, Spirit. Okay. We have 6 of Cups. Okay, so we got some water coming out, some cooling energy. Reminiscence. So this is reconnection with the past. This is also potential, like, sharing emotionally, right? Opening up, connecting with people close, really close to, from a place of love and balance and harmony, right? So that's nice to see. Like I said, it does seem like somebody might be opening up about this and sharing, and it seems like this communication may be very emotionally charged in some way. Which often, when it comes to finances, that can be the case, because finances, in our world, most of us in this world rely on income to be able to be part of society, be part of the game that we have ongoing now, right? Yeah, 6 of Cups, the Hermit. This is also somebody going deep within, reconnecting with their inner child, with the things that used to make them happy when they were young. This could also be somebody very caught up in the past, right? But either way, somebody kind of looking back and trying to reestablish a connection with the way things used to be, right? Yeah, 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords. Transition. This came out in the last reading I did for Mercury as well. Yeah, this is a movement to a calmer space, right? Especially as it relates to the mind, the mental space. So we have a calmer reconnection in the emotional and the mental space as a result of somebody reconnecting with their inner flame, right? It says spiritual enlightenment on this particular Hermit card, the number 9 coming out here and ending, right? As a result of reflection. It does seem like, whatever this conflict was that was going on, 5 of Wands, this also came out in the last reading. Somebody is going within to look at this, to see, how the ways in which maybe they've been deceptive, right? The Magician surrounded by the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. This is highly manipulative energy. This is like creating a story out of thin air in order to cover your track kind of energy, right? And it seems like somebody is now reflecting on this with the Hermit, 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords. Yeah, going within from a very kind of balanced state, owning up to perhaps what they did, and then, making a big reveal of what was hidden, right? Yeah. The World, the Moon, the Fool, and Death, and the Chariot all in a row. Man, you can't make this up. Okay, I'm going to have to Yeah, so the world, right? Completion, reveal, public knowledge, right? The moon, secrets, things hidden, the valley of shadows. The Fool, right? A brand new start. So we have the world and the Fool, the beginning and the end of a cycle. Death, reaffirming this transformation. And then the Chariot, somebody operating from the heart. Somebody who's able to hold the light and the shadow within themselves and use it to propel themselves forward. Right? To own up to what they did, the contradictions within themselves, right? To own up to, you know, this manipulation, this misrepresentation of something. Yeah, so this is a very good likely outcome. I'm not saying, this is the energy of the current moment. It could just be that at this point in time, around when you are hearing this whoever this is, this group, this person, whether it's you or somebody else, I have a feeling it's not you, but it's like around you. They are feeling very nostalgic and they're trying to calm themselves down and really just step back and take a moment and pause, reconnect with the past, better times, and come to a more calm mental state so that they can end this, right? They can end this illusion. Fulfillment of the moon. Yeah. Of the illusion. So that transformation and a new cycle and positive forward movement can begin. The Fool, Death, the Chariot. Very big energy here. So, yeah, and it's going to take work and people coming together. And there's going to be some sadness here. 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords. Yeah. So there's going to be heartache, but it seems like there's going to be a lot of emotional support too. And there's going to be a lot of work that is required to correct the situation, to put it back. Yeah. Because there was a loss, but it's okay because we have 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles. So the Queen is sitting in between loss and sharing, right? So it's like, yes, something was lost, but somebody, the people who are hearing this information are coming from a place of love and support, and they're willing to help and to share and to correct this, right? Yeah, this is a big ending. 10 of Swords, too. Complete mental transformation, complete shift in perspective on the situation, right? Somebody's going through a big change from like deep within, and they're coming clean about something. They're potentially getting in touch with a more spiritual side of themselves, with the mystic and the cave, right? And the siren. They're hearing the call, and they're wanting to start over, empty room. Yeah. They're wanting a clean slate. They want to start from a more truthful place, right? They want the foundations to be honest so that what's built next can be solid and stable and not built on a weak foundation of illusions and misrepresentations, on lies, right? Okay. So, yeah, I feel like I have to say so much about this just because this message will not leave me alone. It just keeps coming out in like every reading I've done for a while, even going months back. This energy has been present, but it seems now like because it just keeps repeating, it keeps coming up every time. It's like I feel this is coming to a head. So yeah, looking ahead, right? Looking ahead, I do want to get some advice for the viewer, right? The person receiving this message who may be going through something like this at this time. What is the advice, Spirit, please? Oh, okay. Got just one, kind of came out sideways. 7 of Cups, choices. Yeah, so this card represents a lot of things. It represents illusions, but it also represents paths forward. You have many options ahead of you. What will you choose? So what is the advice about this decision? This is also a card of dreams. So what I'm getting just off the cusp before another one comes out is that follow your dreams. As cliche as that sounds, I feel like you probably already have been investing a lot in yourself and the things that you're passionate about, the things that you want for your life. And the advice seems to be here is to continue to focus on that despite what is going on around you. We'll see what else comes out. I think I'm just going to pull 2 more. Nothing wants to pop out, but this is the main thing, is to continue focusing on your dreams. So 2 more. On the bottom, we have 2 of Wands, decisions. Yeah, choices and decisions, right? So maybe when all of this comes to light, when this does finally come out, it's going to put you in a position where you have choices and options and decisions to make. 6 of Wands, victory, yeah. Yes, so this is going to be, for you, it might put you in a really good spot. It's going to put you in a place where you are recognized for something, right? 6 of Wands is like a public recognition. It's a celebration of you for something. And then Ace of Pentacles, yeah, new venture. So you have choices to make about many new opportunities. 7 of Cups is like an abundance of choices, right? But you're going to be successful no matter what. Ace of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. These 2 together is like a very successful new opportunity arises from this whatever it is. Yeah, and then under the 2 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune and the Star. 2 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, the Star. So your decision is going to be a big transformation. On this particular Wheel of Fortune, it actually says luck at the bottom. And yeah, Wheel of Fortune with the Star is like, yeah, that's very lucky. Very authentic, very honest energy, right? And then Judgment underneath that. And the Moon. So, yeah, well, for one, somebody is being called to come out of their valley of shadows, is what I'm seeing here. But also, as advice, this is following your inner guidance, right? It says that on the bottom of this particular card, your inner calling through the valley of shadows, right? The unconscious, what is not clear. It's going to guide you through this decision, through these choices that you will have in front of you. Just remember to rely on that inner guidance system that you have. So yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Best of luck to you through whatever this is, and best of luck to all of us as we continue to grapple with the real effects of the global temperature rising, no matter what the narrative is around that. I think we can all agree that we have multiple data points from multiple organizations all around the world who are all saying the same thing. The world is heating up. Okay? All right? And we can feel it ourselves. Weather patterns are not, they're different, even from when I was a kid. When I was really young, the weather is completely different. And I've even moved to a completely different state. And since I've been here, all the locals are saying the same thing. Oh, it's never like this. This is so weird. The weather here is so weird this year. And I'm just like, did I bring it with me? Because even back home, the weather patterns were weird and unusual. So it just seems to be happening all over, at least from my experience. But anyway, that's the message today. Thank you for being here with me. As always, take care of yourself. Keep your heart open. Bye.